who has just drawn with Richard Rapport, who's a 2700 player. But to be honest, I don't think there's anything so special now, because I saw Marc draw with Vishy Anand.
But I was white that day.
But it was white that day. Oh, so you think that this gives you a big advantage, yeah?
Well, it just makes a big difference.
Yeah, because your openings are specifically suited to white.
Yeah, I think draw as black is a pretty big achievement. Well, you start out worse, and
yes,
draw as white. I mean, it can go wrong, but still you have a head start. So that extra move is a big deal.
I've noticed that you've been traveling around Europe the last few months. I saw you play in Gibraltar, the small round robin that we mentioned in Madambad,
yes,
where you played my countryman, Milton Lai. So how long have you been in Europe, and do you have any specific goals, or are you just doing the tour that you...
About since early November, so pretty tired at this point. I was trying to raise my rating.
And do you think you've sort of not only succeeded in raising the rating, but sort of gained some more, some more genuine chess strength, that you've gained some insight into, improving your play?
It started out pretty slowly, but then the experience of playing Anand was
of course,
so special that that really made the trip. And then after that, I've been playing a lot better just from the happiness of getting a chance to play him.
Yes. No. I mean, I've known Vishy for 20 years, and it's one of the dreams to play someone like Anand one-on-one in the game. You see. And he's a lovely gentleman, of course.
Yes.
And not only did you, were able to basically play him, but to get a draw. And I dare say that almost from a position of strength. I wouldn't quite say anything better, but you were certainly not worse than...
A lot of my friends even criticize me for taking the draw in that position, but I say they have to sit in the hot seat before,
yes, it's a bit tough
before
to see
they can.
And of course, I don't know your age, but I think you're in your early 30s, something
32,
like this.
Yeah.
And of course, as you grew up, Vishy, who's I think 46, you must have played through, an enormous amount of his games.
Never expected to get a chance to play him, so it was a dream.
And what did it feel like to play? I was about to say the young 19-year-old Richard, who's quite
completely different than playing Anand. He's I would say a neo-hyper modern player, very original player, and very original talent. So when he played the move Rook H4, it's very much in his style. This move just didn't work in the position. Of course, he could have gone back with the rook to say E1, but he was trying to maybe avoid an equalish position, so he was trying to mix up the game.
Yes.
And as a result of that, because he was trying to beat a lower-rated player, he got into big trouble because the rook, didn't have any.
I think instead of us talking about it, you might as well show us.
Sure.
And we have the game up, but we'll go back to the opening moves. So you can take the mouse over and just play through the game. You can even just flick through here if you like.
Many thought
Marc.
he was going to play B3 on the first move. He loves to do this.
Yes,
but, you can never predict. He's even played a game with knight F3, knight F6, rook G1.
Yes. I saw him play also, E4, C5, queen H5.
Yes.
I've seen him play, typical early knight A3 in certain positions as well.
I was maybe lucky to play him because you couldn't prepare for him anyway. So to play him on the double day was, since you don't have no time to prepare anyway, it's sort of he's so unconventional. So he ended up wanting to play a reverse Benoni. Now, if I play my knight to c6 too soon, he could play d4, and that's sort of a Grunfeld tempo up for him, and then my knight can be a problem. So you want to delay that. After this, black's starting to play bishop g7, castle, and e5. So white has to act. I've had a game where an opponent played a Benko in reverse.
Yes,
too,
b4 looks also a natural attempt.
So it's either a Benko or a Benoni in reverse, but it's roughly balanced. And now, so we just have basically a Benoni, and I'm a tempo down. And I've played this a lot in Blitz, but I always play it really badly. I always play some nonsensical move like rook e8 and then e5. And I realized that I've been playing it wrong for all these years during the game. So I realized since it's a Benoni, maybe the knight should go to d7, c5. But since you're down a tempo, here, if you have two extra move, you have knight c5, e5, knight e4, maybe then knight e6. But now you don't have that anymore since you're down a tempo. I'm not sure if knight c5 is so good, but okay. Since it was a long day, I was happy to get an equal position. And here he should just go back.
Yes, I was about to say rook e1 is such a natural
move. It's equal, but this is very unconventional, and I like unconventional, so I was very happy to see him playing this move. Obviously, he regrets it, he told me after. And now black must be better immediately. He missed f6.
Ah, okay, interesting. Yes.
F6 looks like a weird move, but after F6, his rook has all sorts of trouble, and it's regretting its decision. But still, he played originally. He comes back. Now, if I play the move E5, it's a kind of a strategic disaster for me, because after E5, rook takes F5, and take, and knight H4, and bishop H3, and white might be actually winning this position. And I was hoping for this, but after queen D7, it sort of refutes the swinging rook, and now E5 is threatened, so he has no choice but to play knight H4, bishop H3, and now, of course, I have the position that I could have had with rook E1, but many tempi up, and I get to exchange his best piece. He really wants his bishop so that he can play rook B1 and B4 and B5 and then use the diagonal. But once it goes, he really doesn't have anything he's playing for. Now black is playing for the win.
Yes, and around here I thought he should just play rook E4 and
rook E4 and
come back to E1.
But he's such a principled player. He doesn't want to admit that it was wrong.
Yes, and he wants
I was still happy that he wants to justify, because he's still trying to prove it, but here he should still just try and make a draw rook E4. But still, okay, now it's getting too much.
Yes, and even here he can still play rook E4, but then he's wasted numerous tempi.
So he goes for it, and now there are different ways. Maybe G5 first, but I wasn't sure. I mean, this rook on H5, it cannot be good. Take, and then queen G7, and basically. Now the D2 square should be for his knight. So when eventually he played queen D2, I was happy to see that as well. So initially I thought I had to play G5, but then I realized, why should I drive the rook back to
go back to where it wants to go.
Let it stay. So then I realized rook A8, now it should be minus over plus for black.
Yes, the rook on H4 is misplaced.
And now F5 is a huge threat, because before it wasn't working because of knight G5, knight E6. But now after F5, knight G5, H6, and white should be losing. So basically it's a bad Benoni now for him. And that could often happen when you play these black openings in reverse. The extra tempo might not work for you. So B4 was sort of it's a really strong practical decision to try and confuse the issue. But I thought he would play with more energy, but he just he didn't want to play queen B3 because it doesn't work. Knight C6, rook E1. So now this square belonged to the knight. So I was pleased that he couldn't go back to D2, rook E1, and what did I do here?
You played G5, I believe.
Right. So now I actually thought I was winning this position. But no, immediately.
Oh, okay, immediately.
But I missed that after E4, that there's the pin. I thought that E4 was just winning, and after knight takes G5, E3, I saw it from a while back, wins the knight. But after E4, he plays queen takes G5.
Oh, of course.
And this is these players, they put up such resistance even in bad positions that you start doubting yourself. During games when you face this. So
and they keep giving you practical problems to solve.
It can get very tiring, and they don't go down. Now, obviously, if you look at the computer, it's going to say something like -2 or something, and then you're going to feel bad when you go home and you look at it. But from a practical point of view, it's 2 games today. It's very tiring. So there's a win here, but since I didn't do it, so at H6, now I start playing pretty lazily for the next 15 moves, I don't know, just exhausted. So now I just play I was looking at playing E4, but I never saw that.
The typical breakthrough that you wish to.
He suggested that I play F4, but it's another anti-positional move, allowing the knight to go. But he said that maybe just F4, F3 is probably disaster for him. Probably is winning F4.
It is a strangely slightly anti-positional move, because the pawn in E5 seems to be, will be stuck forever on the E5 square, of course.
Yes, then he gets, but I think he's talking about.
He's talking about direct attack on the F file.
Sort of like a Dutch, but a pawn up. So it should be winning. But basically, I did not find a way in, and I also forgot that he's going to play queen B5 for a moment. So now he's getting his.
A bit of activity.
Benoni and I just kind of la. And I paid the price. So again, move F3 is very strong because he's just sitting there. I also have to, in some case, worry about G4.
To get the knight to E4.
But this is not really going to happen because it weakens his king. But now King G7 is a really bad move. But in these moments when you don't really know what you're doing and you want to move the king, you're sort of guessing. And then when it happens, you put the king on G7, and there are all these tactics with knight takes F5. You really feel upset. So I was like, please, which first question? Should it go to H7, to H8, or G7? So, of course, I put on the wrong square, probably G7, and I thought he was going to go like C5, then Queen D5, But knight b3, I underestimated this move, but basically he constructed this fortress, very talented, and now.
And you have to prove something, yes, if you
know,
want to.
You know, he got a really bad position with rook h4, and then he just so resilient. Well, that's why it's one of the reasons he is where he is. So knight b3, I don't know if I mean I might be winning here f4, but again he's coming in with knight c5 and.
Yeah, he's at least it's a typical
now it's like a kind of a Benko type
yes.
position. He got what he wanted. So now, okay, this is just exhaustion move.
Yeah.
You know, just like queen h5, just moving around, and
yes.
okay, he did this, and now I realized that
Knight c5 is going to cause problems on b7, so you have to go back.
And now this ridiculous knight a7. So obviously black has now failed to try and win. Queen b4, he hesitated, he sort of let go, and then sometimes that means that there's a mistake, but this was fine. And here, after rook b2, I thought that I had...
Yes, you still
I thought that I had rook c7. And after rook c7, I completely forgot that after knight takes b7, queen takes b4, rook takes b4, rook b8, I forgot that the other rook comes to b1, and that would probably be some kind of draw, maybe. But maybe he's even better in that position. So this was a kind of a sad moment. Queen c6, and now I would not be surprised if I'm worse now. My king is worse, and now I lost my pawn. You know, I thought I could take here, but of course knight d6 destroys me.
Yes, threatening.
And I missed this completely after rook f8, knight takes f5, and you know, it's not a good way to go. So now, even though I didn't win, I'm happy that I didn't collapse in this position.
Yes, and you know you're just reached the top control, or about to reach the top control, and you need to be accurate around here.
So I have 1 minute just to play knight c8. You know, so on the one hand, it's upsetting to not win, but on the other hand, to not collapse
I think it's very important that you know, because the position is completely changed.
You know,
and
I wouldn't have won if he didn't. I wouldn't have had a chance if he played if he didn't play rook h4. It was just his decision. Going back to e1, it would be very hard. So he gave me a chance. Okay, I didn't use it, but at least I didn't. I saved the game here. Here, I thought, okay, that was a good move, and now I'm just trying to draw. Now here, I think he has some chances. Maybe a move like c5.
Oh, okay.
To try and win. But I think he was so tired of his bad position that a draw was fine for him at this point too. But I wouldn't be surprised if a move like c5 is,
yes.
I'm not sure, but my king is worse, the d pawn is weak, this knight can go to d6, this knight is horrible on c8. So once he took, I realized now it should definitely be a draw because, so he went straight for the draw. I thought maybe rook e6. But then he checks, so then I realized that queen e3, and if he plays king h...
Yes, you just variation.
Oh, no. If he plays this, rook f2, first I thought about maybe this move. Then he could play queen takes e7, take, and he's probably... I probably wouldn't take there, because now he might get... He probably has this is winning.
Yes, the typical structure.
So, you know, that's not a good way to go.
No, that would have been a sad end to the day.
So instead, I could play this move, and now he might be even in trouble. Probably still a draw. And if he plays here, then check. And if he tries to do this, of course he doesn't want to, then this is at the very least drawing.
Oh, of course, yes.
So, you know.
No, it's useful to have this.
So forcing, and then we repeated here, a very long day. So, all in all, cannot expect things to go perfectly.
Oh, no, but...
so, it's good, because if you were to ask me about the beginning of the game, a draw, I would take it instantly as black, so overall, that's a good thing. So.
Well, thank you very much for that. Can we ask, is this your final tournament? Or
in Europe, yes, and then I might play in a tournament in the US, Philly Open. But we'll see if I don't collapse physically.
I think you'll have a few days at home.
Yeah, probably a week off. So I'll probably play another one, then take a break. But I've been playing since London Classics.
Yes.
So yeah.
Well, thank you very much.